Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me for Wlbt Plus. My name is Kara Shirley, and I'm your digital news desk host here to tell you about some of the top things that are happening around the nation here in Jackson and the surrounding communities, as well as today I'm going to let you know some exciting stories that are coming up tonight at 6. 4:30. All of our newscasts later on tonight, you'll be able to catch those. But the first thing that we're going to talk about today is a an explosion, as what we heard come across the scanners here, that happened at Hayes Cooper Elementary School. So let me go to that so that I can. So it was a social media post that was shared by the Cleveland School District. It said that all the children are safe and accounted for, and that two staff members have sustained injuries. Now, we did reach out to the Bolivar County Sheriff's Department and the district for some details about this. We have not yet heard any, but when our camera teams arrived out to the school, there were several Atmos Energy trucks there on site. So we're not really sure of exactly what happened, but we will definitely keep you updated on that. As soon as we find out more information, we will pass it along to you, and you can find that at wlbt.com. Now, another story that is happening here nationally, very big national story, is the death of O.J. Simpson at the age of 76 years old. So OJ had apparently been battling prostate cancer for a while, and he was placed on hospice care a few months back, and he did pass away last night at the age of 76. He was surrounded by his children and his grandkids, according to a social media post that was made. Now, we know there's a lot of controversy surrounding OJ and his acquittal back in the 90s for the murder of his wife and her friend. So a lot of people believe that he did it. A lot of people believe that he didn't, and he was acquitted for that. As we all know, but he did pass away last night at the age of 76. Now, one thing we told you about earlier this week was a former Jackson police officer who was wanted for the murder of a 25-year-old Carlos Collins. That was Tuesday at the Tapestry Apartments on Parkway Drive in Jackson. He was captured yesterday. He was taken into custody after a chase that crossed state lines from Warren County into Louisiana. He was last seen in Vicksburg after Jackson police issued a bulletin to be on the lookout for him in a black Honda Accord. The Mississippi Highway Patrol, they did take him into custody. Well, they were with the Warren County Sheriff's Office in the high-speed chase that crossed over into Louisiana. He was taken into custody in Rayville, Louisiana, and is being held at the Richland Parish Detention Center. And he should be extradited back to Jackson this morning, but we are, of course, keeping a watch on that, and we will let you know, give you an update on that story later on today. So, and that wasn't the only police chase that happened in Jackson yesterday. Two people are in custody following a chase that began in Simpson County and ended in Richland. It was on Highway 49 in Richland, and it was involving a stolen car. Sheriff Paul Mullins told us deputies spotted the car in Simpson County and tried to pull it over. The car then crashed into the median in Richland, and there were two suspects that were taken into custody there. And those, here we go, let me show you these guys that were taken into custody. It is 34-year-old Javarius Davis and 32-year-old Marvin Stamps. He was the driver during the pursuit. Both of them are from Jackson, and both are being charged with felony fleeing, and will have an initial appearance later today. in Simpson County, and they will be waiting for extradition back to Louisiana. So we've got the guy from Jackson that was captured in Louisiana that'll be coming back here, and then these guys that are from Jackson but are waiting extradition back into Louisiana. Now, we do have some good news. If you were underneath the Jackson water system, that was Jackson Water's recent test show forever chemicals are either not present, or if they are present, they're present at extremely low levels in both the Pearl River and Jackson. The company says they're going to be continuing to sample periodically for those chemicals, and you can, of course, see the testing results at jacksonwater.com. Now, we had some pretty scary weather. It was scary to me that came through our area yesterday early in the morning, and then Tuesday evening. What is today? Yes, Tuesday evening. Well, the National Weather Service is now confirming that there was a tornado in Hinds County. They say that it was an EF1 tornado, had 100-mile-per-hour winds. It hit down near the Natchez Trace and learned. Now, we do have some of the damage footage that we're showing you here. This was around Bill Downing Road in Hinds County. And, of course, other parts of Hinds County saw a lot of damage as well. Not just from this, but there was actually damage all over the place from the storms that came through. So going into national news now, so the Biden administration is one step closer to closing a so-called gun show loophole. So a rule was finalized requiring people who sell firearms online and at gun shows to conduct a background check on potential buyers. Now, what they're hoping to do with this is it's increasing the requirements needed to obtain a federal firearm license. So the White House hopes to help better regulate the market. So the new rule is being finalized just days before the 25th anniversary of the Columbine shooting, which administration notes was carried out with firearms that were purchased at a gun show and through the gun show loophole. If it is finalized, the rule will go into effect in 30 days. So basically what that means is if you go to a gun show, you won't be able to purchase a gun without a background check, which is probably something that needs to happen, and it will hopefully help things where mass shootings or people who shouldn't have firearms, keep them from getting those. Another national news, sadly, their study is saying that suicide rates are rising amongst all ages in the U.S., but they're especially spiking in college athletes. This study is actually surprising to me. It's the second leading cause of death in those playing university sports, surpassed only by accidents. And this is according to a British Journal of Sports Medicine. It says the suicide rate for college athletes has doubled in just 2 decades. Decades. So researchers, they're not sure exactly why the suicide rates are soaring, but it is prominent with those athletes that have higher visibility. They're thinking maybe it could be the stress of being in the spotlight and, of course, being subject to criticism on social media that may contribute to that. And I can totally understand and see that as being a cause and contributing to that. Hopefully, that rate will not continue to rise, that people will be able to speak more openly regarding their mental health and reach out for help in times of crisis. Now, Ford is recalling nearly 43,000 small SUVs due to a gasoline can leak. So, the recall covers certain Bronco sports SUVs from the 2022 to 2023 model years, as well as Escape SUVs from 2022. So they're saying that the gasoline can leak from the fuel injectors into a or onto a hot engine surface, which will increase the risk of fire. The recall remedy does not include repairing fuel leaks. Now, detailers will install a tube to let gasoline flow away from the hot surfaces to the ground and below the vehicle. The company says it has reports of under 5 underhood fires. Let me apologize for that. And 14 warranty replacements, fuel rejectors, but no reports of crash or injury. But that is a recall that you might want to check out if you have the Bronco SUV from 2022 to 2023 or the Escape from 2022. Now, looking at a national day today, which I found it kind of funny. Today is National 8-Track Day. Do you guys remember 8-Tracks? I barely do. And the reason why I barely do is because they started to phase out in 1982, which happens to be the year that I was born. So these were very popular through the mid-60s to the early 80s. And basically it was 8-track tapes had magnetic tape sound recording technology. I remember those things were huge. I remember getting into vehicles where, it's like a big brick that you would put into the dash to hear some music outside of the radio. But it was first released into vehicles. Let's see, is that 1965? Ford actually introduced it in a factory installed and dealer installed option for 3 of its models: the Thunderbird, the Mustang, and the Lincoln. So, of course, like I said, it started to phase out in the early 80s, 1982, and now they're kind of like these classic plastic huge things that I haven't seen one in forever, but I remember seeing them a lot when I was a kid and thought they were really cool back then. All right, I'm going to take a commercial break real quick. When I come back, we're going to give you an update on the forecast. Plus, we're going to be talking with Holly Emery regarding a court case that she has been following, or a case that she has been following that is going to court today. And we're going to hear from CJ LeMaster on a story that he will have airing tonight at 6. We will be right back.
WLBT Morning News gets you ready for what's happening outside your door.
Taking a look at our first alert radar this morning.
WLBT Morning News is where you'll find Mississippi's most accurate forecast and how to prepare for news that will impact your day.
Breaking news overnight.
And it's happening right now in Jackson.
On your side with WLBT First Alert weather and anything you need to know for a day with no surprises. Start your day with WLBT Morning News. Weekday mornings from 4:30 to 7 and streaming on the WLBT News app.
I'm in pain.
Real people.
It should be terrifying to all of us.
It was dangerous.
Real problems.
I mean, that's unacceptable.
How can we work to change things?
Real life solutions. Investigate TV Plus.
Watch weekdays at 2:30 on WLBT. WLBT Morning News gets you ready for sudden weather changes.
Taking a look at our first alert radar this morning.
It's where you'll find Mississippi's most accurate forecast and the only station giving you a 10-day weather prediction, not just 7.
Going to zoom into the Jackson Metro so you know what to expect as you head out the door this morning.
WLBT First Alert Weather is Mississippi's most accurate forecast from Mississippi's most trusted station. Start your day with WLBT Morning News. Weekday mornings from 4:30 to 7 and streaming on the WLBT News app.
WLBT First Alert Weather gets you ready for everything. Every sudden weather
Alert traffic in the morning means no more unexpected roadblocks on your morning commute.
I've got the latest on traffic conditions.
Start your day with WLBT Morning News. Weekday mornings from 4:30 to 7 and streaming on the WLBT News app.
And we are back. Thank you so much for joining me here on WLBT Plus. Going to give you a look at the weather. Actually, we're going to take a look outside right now, downtown Jackson, see what it's looking like. I haven't been out there in a while, so hopefully it's nice looking. Let me get my camera to pull up. It's taking a little bit. Of course, this would happen to me right now, wouldn't it? Let's see if we can look. Let's take a look. What do you guys want to look at? Let's look over from the LBT studios over Jackson. Here we go. So here's what we got outside right now. Looks like the clouds are starting to clear. Got some blue skies happening out there. A little bit of sunshine. So it's nice. Very nice. I'm going to have to get out there and try to enjoy some of it when I get off work a little bit later. So right now our current temperatures outside are actually pretty nice, sitting in the mid 60s. We got 63 there in Jackson, 63 in Yazoo City, and looking at the 50s over there in Carthage. So pretty nice out there right now. Our next 12 hours, look at that, sun coming out and beautiful weather, beautiful skies tonight. Actually perfect temperatures overnight as we go into the tomorrow hours, which is probably not the correct way to say that, but as we go into tomorrow early morning, it is looking like it's going to be a beautiful sky, great temperatures, a good night to be out. Now our current radars, we just saw of course the WLBT sky camera over the studios here in Jackson. That a cloud was clear. Cloud coverage is clearing out, but we can see right now there's no rain in the area. Thank goodness for that. And our 7-day forecast is going to give us a beautiful look at our weekend. Great temperatures this weekend. Perfect opportunity to get outside. And even going into next week, it looks like our next chance for rain as of right now is next Wednesday. So it's going to be a great next few days. And I really hope that you take the opportunity to get out there and enjoy it. Now, I talked with Holly Emery earlier today, and I have the talk with her recorded, fixing to play that for you here in just a moment. But Holly is actually right now at Hinds County Court for a trial, a civil case for a principal, assistant school principal, who was fired a couple of years ago from Gary Road Elementary School. You probably remember this story. His name is Toby Price, and he was fired after reading a children's book to a group of second graders. I'm going to let you hear from Holly. I talked to her earlier about this. So here we go. Emery with me. She is one of our very esteemed award-winning reporters here at WLBT. And we're going to talk about the court case about a local elementary school teacher that got fired for reading a book that some people considered as inappropriate. And you've been following the story.
Definitely. This is one of my first stories that I got to go in and follow the court cases, follow all of the hearings, but Toby Price was an elementary school assistant principal. He was doing Read Across America Week, and at that time he had picked up a book called I Need a New Butt. And title's a little shocking at first, but it's a picture book, it's a children's book, just about this child that explores the idea of what if I had a robotic butt, a rocket butt. Yeah. Fun concept for children, just getting them to read. Well, some administration did not agree with that, and it turned into a whole firing situation, a hearing with the board, and now we are here today 2 years later where he's filing for wrongful termination, and that's why we're going to be in Hinds County Chancery Court this afternoon.
And so is he looking to get his job back, or what do you think that his outcome is, or hopeful outcome is?
So the conversation that I've had with him is he's not necessarily looking to get back into the Hinds County Gary Road Elementary School. That's where he was the principal for. but he just wants to clear his name. It's created a lot of problems for him ever since this whole thing started, and so this is just clearing his name. The wrongful termination suit would clear that up for him.
And I can understand that. And, I looked up, because I wasn't familiar with that, and that book. I have kids, and I looked up, I'm going to get this mic real quick so I can pull this. So I looked at this author who wrote the book. Her name is Dawn McMillan, and she has books called I Need a New Bum, I Broke My Butt, My Butt is So Noisy. Now, I have kids, okay? Lovely. And I know that while I may not be my favorite word for them to say, I can imagine that this book would really engage them.
Absolutely. And that was the argument in a lot of the hearings with the county, with the Hinds County School Board. His argument was, it was Read Across America. It was 2 years, about a year and a half post-COVID, and you had to get kids back into reading. And this was a book that he read to his children, thought it was appropriate in the fact of it's just a silly book. That's what he repeated over and over again during the school board hearings. It's just a silly book. I just wanted kids to get back into reading, and you get back into reading through silly books.
Right.
And that's what he stood by this entire time, and he still stands by that today.
Still stands by it. And if you guys aren't familiar with the principal, here I got him pulled up right here, so you can take a look at him. And he's actually is holding the book right there that he read. But what do you think, Holly, is maybe one of the reasons why that people may have found offense to the book, or what were some reactions from parents or the community regarding this situation?
So as far as administration, it's very divided in these reactions. A lot of the administration and some parents have messaged me saying, I didn't approve of my child saying the word "but" at home. And so to have that in a book and read by a loved principal at that point wasn't the best option. They said there could have been other options. Do they agree with the firing? Not many do. Whenever we were covering the board hearings, you had parents saying, I can't believe this, he got my children back into reading. So this has been a very controversial discussion. A lot of them understood it's a silly book, just like Captain Underpants was. For my generation, it was Captain Underpants. But that's kind of the divide. Some people just didn't like the word, but they didn't like their children using it at home.
Right.
Others it's just a silly book.
Now, do you know, is this the book that he brought with him to school, or was this book available in the school library? Do you know?
So this was his personal book. He had it behind him on his shelf in his office, and that's why he grabbed it. He read it to his children and everything, but there were other books with similar discussions and similar words and vocabulary in the library at the time.
Gotcha.
I do not recall completely if this book was in the library. It was, again, 2 years ago that we covered this. But as far as that hearing went, this was not something completely unusual to have in the library.
Yeah. How long had he been in administration or working in education?
20 years.
Wow.
He said he devoted his life. He's always wanted to teach children, and at one point was a teacher, moved up to administration, and still had that element of reading to the kids and Read Across America. A teacher didn't show up for Read Across America week, and that's where this whole situation stemmed from. It was, he had to fill in real quick, found a book nearby, and grabbed it.
Wow. So today he is in court, and it's a wrongful termination suit. But Holly is going to do a great story on it tonight. So make sure you tune in tonight for that. Holly, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely love Holly. She is sweet. She is a great reporter. She really is an award-winning reporter. She won some at the MAB Awards this past Saturday. But you can tune in tonight on WLBT or go to our website, WLBT.com, and you can not only read the past stories that she has done on this, because she has been following the story, but you can also read about today's court case. And will there be a verdict? I'm not sure. I don't know. if it will end today, but Holly will definitely let you know about it. Now, another thing that we have that is airing tonight is a story that CJ LeMaster has been working on. It's a story that you are probably all pretty familiar with. So there's nearly a dozen families who were never told about their loved one dying until months after the fact. And many of them learned about their relatives dying through our reports. But really, those cases just could be just the tip of the iceberg. We really don't know. So our investigative reporter, CJ LeMaster, has a preview of what he's been working on, and you'll be able to see that tonight. Here he is.
Right now, we have records on more than 300 people buried in the Hinds County Paupers Cemetery. All of it for you to be able to search on our website if one of your loved ones is missing. That's how Kiera and Jayla Bell found out their brother Carlos had been killed 20 months after it happened. They say they've tried to get answers from Jackson Police and the county coroner, Sharon Grisham Stewart, but nobody has explained why it took so long to notify them. They do have theories, though.
And we understand everybody got a job to do, you know, but it's just like they just didn't do their job. Because like I told Ms. Sharon, I feel like because y'all found him in an abandoned building, abandoned house, y'all feel like he didn't have no family or he didn't have no loved ones, and y'all just let it go. And that's just how I feel.
Assumed he was just somebody homeless.
And that's how I feel. Because and she couldn't answer that.
Tonight at 6, we investigate how these families were forgotten and why even now there are hundreds of people buried in the county whose identities are no longer known. Don't miss Never Notified, part of our continuing coverage on these botched cases, tonight at 6 on WLBT News.
And again, like CJ said, you can catch that tonight on WLBT. And that is the Never Notified series that he will be going over. And then I'll be meeting with CJ right here on WLBT Plus next week to talk with him about this and kind of go behind the investigation with CJ and find out what else is coming after all of this. Is anything else coming? So we'll be able to talk to CJ next week. But make sure you tune in tonight so you can watch Never Notified. That is going to be at 6 o'clock tonight on WLBT. So that is all for today. I'm going to say goodbye. I hope you have a great day, a wonderful day. Get outside, enjoy the dry weather. Finally, the ground's not so much dry, not yet, but they will get that way, and get you a little bit of vitamin D and maybe even go pull out a 8-track or something and listen to it for National 8-Track Day. You guys have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.